We didn't want to know. We wanted to do it, I guess, the old-fashioned way.
Well, you kind of wanted to know. We did a wedding ring test where you took a piece of your hair and the wedding band and you hold it over the belly, and if it moves one way in a circle, then it's a girl. If it moves in a straight line, it's a boy. And that said it was a girl. And there was a point when we went into the ultrasound where I was waffling. It was like, well, we could look. At this very moment, we could look and we could find out. And
see, but I was trying to be strong because she was very adamant about not.
I said, no.
By the time most ultrasounds are done, around 18 weeks or so, doctors can sometimes make out the sex. But in the early weeks, it's impossible. Take a look at a 7-week-old embryo. Try to guess what sex it is. Think it's a boy? Believe it or not, this is not a penis, at least not yet. It might become one, but it could just as easily turn into a clitoris, the female sex organ. At this stage, boys and girls look exactly alike, and not just on the outside. Inside, there are 2 gonads, which could become testicles or ovaries. And there are 2 sets of tubes, one in case it's a boy, the other for a girl. Of course, there's one way to tell the difference. Look at the chromosomes in a cell from the embryo. One pair among the 23 determines sex. An embryo with 2 X chromosomes usually becomes a girl. If one of those X's is a Y, it will most likely be a boy. Recently, scientists came up with a good idea of how this works. There are only about 30 genes on the Y chromosome. One of them is called SRY. This gene seems to function just once in a lifetime, late in the 6th week of embryonic development, and only in one place, the gonad. SRY turns on for a day or 2, and the cells churn out its protein. But in that short time, SRY sets off a chemical chain reaction, turning on other genes, eventually turning the gonads into testicles, which begin to make testosterone. Testosterone travels throughout the body. If it reaches the genitals, then the cells here will build a penis. But if there are 2 X chromosomes and no Y, different genes get turned on and the gonads become ovaries. The embryo becomes a baby girl. This is the power of genes, creating cascades of chemical reactions, defining the form and function of all the cells in your body. Sometimes genes send the message to multiply and grow, as with the arm and leg buds. Sometimes the message is to die, as it is a few days later to the cells between the fingers. As the weeks pass, the embryo's genes send billions of individual messages, constructing new kinds of cells and building organs and limbs. Two months after fertilization, the embryo is now called a fetus. Almost all its organs are in place, though they're not working yet. The whole fetus is just over an inch long and weighs less than 1/3 of an ounce. Over the next 6.5 months, it will grow almost 400 times larger and prepare for birth. All of this demands a constant supply of nutrients.